You're worrying for nothing. Stoicism explains why. Imagine spending your entire life afraid of things that never happened, afraid of losing something you don't even possess, afraid of failing in scenarios that exist only in your head. Now, take a deep breath, because the Stoics 2,000 years ago already had the answer to this modern anxiety. They would say, "You're worrying for nothing." But how? We live in difficult times. Bills, news, social media comparisons, job insecurity, uncertainty in love. How can anyone simply not worry? The answer lies in how you interpret the world, not in what the world offers you. Epictetus, a slave who became one of the greatest philosophers in history, said, "It's not things that disturb us, but the judgments we make about them." Think about that. It's not the bank line that stresses you out, it's what you think about wasting time. It's not someone's look that bothers you, it's the fear of being judged. And it's not the future that paralyzes you, it's the disaster story you create in your mind. Now imagine a man sitting in his bed at 3 in the morning. He can't sleep. He relives old conversations, anticipates future tragedies, wonders if he's failing in life. He's fighting battles within his own mind. And the cruelest part? No one's there to fight him, just himself. That man could be you or me. But the Stoics would say, return to the present. Seneca, another Stoic giant, wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." That sentence is a sword against anxiety because it reveals a brutal secret. Most of our pain is manufactured. Have you ever felt anxious about an interview, an exam, or a difficult conversation? And then, once it was over, realized it was nothing like you imagined? That the tension was far worse in your head than in real life? That's what Seneca was talking about. The human mind is a creator of futures that may never come, and often a creator of hells that don't exist. That's why the Stoics practiced a powerful habit, distinguishing what is within our control, like, and what is not. You control what you feel, what you think, what you decide, but you don't control the weather, other people's actions, or what fate has in store. And that's where liberation begins. When you focus on what you can control, you stop suffering in advance. Imagine a general before battle. He prepares his men, studies the terrain, strengthens his mind, but he doesn't control the weather, luck, or the enemy. He does what he can and accepts the rest. That's the essence of Stoicism, doing your best with what you have and letting go of what doesn't depend on you. Imagine you're on a ship out at sea. The sky darkens, the waves grow wild, and you begin to panic. But then the captain, calm and steady, tells you, you don't control the storm, only the helm. That's the Stoic mindset. While everyone else screams for external control, the Stoics adjust the internal, because the chaos outside matters less than the order within. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote in his journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that. An emperor facing wars, betrayals, plagues, saying that true strength comes from the mind, not the throne. Today, many people live as if they are victims of every notification, every opinion, every small daily tragedy, as if the universe is constantly trying to knock them down. But Marcus Aurelius dealt with existential and geopolitical crises and still sought peace within himself. Maybe your greatest prison is believing that everything must go right for you to be okay. But the Stoics reverse that. You have to be okay, even when nothing goes right. This is what they called virtue, living with courage, wisdom, and discipline, regardless of the circumstances. Have you ever thought about how much of your life has been wasted on worries that never came true? How many sleepless nights over an answer that never arrived? How many days ruined by something that, in hindsight, was small? It's as if we walk around carrying imaginary stones, and every negative thought is another brick in our pockets. Now imagine if you could drop that weight, if you could walk lighter, if you knew that most of your anxiety isn't real, it's just a mental habit. The Stoics called this Premeditatio Malorum, the premeditation of evil. They didn't ignore that bad things could happen. They just prepared mentally in advance. They imagined the worst, accepted it, and then lived the present more peacefully. It's counterintuitive, but it works. When you accept that the worst can happen and that you would still survive, you become unstoppable. You no longer fear rejection, failure, loss, because you've trained your mind to stay grounded, even if everything around you collapses. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest sages in history, said, "It's not things that disturb us, but the judgments we make about them." Imagine this: two men lose their jobs. One falls into despair, believes his life is over. The other takes a deep breath, gets organized, and decides to start over. The situation is the same. What changes is how each one views the problem. And that's where the Stoics became masters. They trained their minds to respond with rationality, not with despair. Epictetus also said, "The key to freedom is serenity in the face of the inevitable." And how many times have you suffered over things completely out of your control? Traffic, the weather forecast, what others think, the past. All of that is free, unnecessary anxiety. But it's so common we barely notice. It's like carrying a suitcase full of useless rocks and still complaining about the weight. But there is another path, a path of lightness, discipline, and focus on the now. And that's the path the Stoics paved thousands of years ago, without phones, without social media, without therapy. You don't need to eliminate all worries. That would be inhuman. But you can silence most of them by understanding this truth. If you can't control it, it's not worth suffering over. What is under your control? Your actions, your thoughts, your principles. Everything else is noise. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And isn't that exactly what we do? Our brain creates catastrophic scenarios, but reality is rarely as cruel as our fears. Think about how many decisions you've delayed because of fear, how many important conversations you avoided, how many opportunities you let pass because you were stuck in fictitious worries. The truth, life is happening now, and it doesn't wait for the moment when you're 100% ready and free from fear, because that moment never comes. You are alive. Now that alone is all you need to begin. The Stoics invite us to live as if each day were a small life, and if today were your last chance to live lightly, would you spend the day worrying? Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." That's not just beautiful, it's practical. You can train your mind every day to choose more useful thoughts. You can watch your worry rise and let it go, like a cloud passing through the sky. You can say, "This is not under my control," and free yourself. It's not about ignoring problems. It's about not multiplying them with useless thoughts. A real challenge is enough. We don't need to create 10 mental versions of it. Think of how many times you worried about something that never happened. And yet you lost hours, days, maybe weeks trapped in that fear. That's the silent theft of anxiety. It takes your present to pay a debt you don't even know exists. Stoicism teaches us to recover the present, to master the mind, to live with courage in the face of uncertainty. Do you want peace? Then stop fighting what already is. Accept, act, and trust that you'll handle whatever comes, when it comes. Your calm is your true strength. Most people live in constant reaction to news, to social media, to others' opinions, but you can choose a different path, a path of clarity, a path where each thought passes through a filter. Is this under my control? Will this make me better? Is this necessary now? And when the answer is no, you let it go. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to train your mind, one day at a time. Stoic wisdom is not just in books, it's in your everyday life. In the moment when you take a deep breath, choose with awareness, and move forward. You don't have to worry so much. Most of the things you fear will never happen, and if they do, you'll handle it, just like you always have. If this message touched you, leave a comment sharing what impacted you the most, like and subscribe to the channel. And remember, this is Philosophy of Reality, exploring reality without illusions.